I guess, man. I guess. I think I'd be pissed off about being cheated on. I'd probably be more upset about you messing up the money though. I
Yeah, yeah, because money can change like the future. I mean, cheating can change the future too, but money can impact when you mess up people's finances, that can impact people for years to come, and sometimes in ways that they don't even think about until like credit comes up, or that can affect you for years and years to come. So I can see that.
Instead of you thinking you're gonna retire at 63 or 65, now you got to work till you like in your 70s
Yeah, exactly.
with the money. And
Say that again.
somebody been willy-nilly with the money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no. So no, I think you definitely need to have that communication. I think it's probably best if you take the stance that, hey, listen, we don't have the money to give. Like our money is for
Mhm.
us. And you really got to kind of be cold-hearted to some people, man, because they'll users don't have any boundaries. They will use
True.
you. They're like, fucking Venom. They will use the host. They'll use the host body until it's done, and then on to the next host body. And like I don't know if that was a good nerdy explanation, but you right.
I got it.
But you really have to like set boundaries, man, because folks will just take you and they won't have no shame about it. Sometimes they even get mad at you when you ever had somebody when you loan them money, they get mad at you for asking for your shit back.
I typically don't ask for it back because I typically feel like if I'm gonna give it, it's something I don't need. But I learn well from other people's mistakes. So I have seen it happen to other people, which is why my limit is $100 because I have seen other people have to go through crap to get what's owed to them back. I've seen it. So yeah, yeah,
Because like,
I've
man,
seen it.
hey, listen, and then you hear the little rumors like, oh, it's all about the money for you. Well, it was all about the money when you needed it, right?
True, true, true.
So, and I just think that at this age, we really got to start. That's like on the list of questions that you got to ask folks, like, how do you handle money? How did you
Hmm.
handle money? Because, when you get into your, late 40s and 50s, like us, hey, um, every financial decision you make matters, especially if you haven't made the best decisions up until this time. So now, we're at an age right now that it still can be salvaged. You can
Hmm.
fix it. We still got some strong working years ahead of us to where we can, make sure that we have stuff put into place. But there's really no room for error. And you really can't afford to have somebody in your circle, especially not your partner, that's going to be a distraction to that.
That's true. I agree. And like I said, you never know when a financial situation or issue from the past will come up in your future. Unless you plan for it. And part of planning for it is having to tell people no, even when you want to say yes.
Yeah. And so let me ask you this. And this off script, I know you're not, but you can handle this. I was talking to my homegirl, and she said marriage doesn't benefit women. And I pushed back on it and I said, well, why you say that? Like, because from my perspective, marriage doesn't really benefit men. And from her perspective, she was saying, okay, like, us having to take care of you all, the emotional toll. I can't remember everything else that she said. But for me, I was like, a lot of guys look at it as, okay, this is another bill that I have to spend resources on, right? I'm now having to spend more money on you, taking you out, doing these different things, date nights, all of this stuff. Whereas when I'm rolling solo dolo, I'm just gonna worry about myself. I can go to dinner, I can spend 20, $25 just on me. Now, if I go out with you, now the bill's $80, right? So ultimately we came to the decision that marriage benefits people who really want to be married and work as a team. But do
Mhm.
you feel like marriage does not benefit women?
I have heard the conversation leaning towards it doesn't. I think it depends on the people and what they get out of it. But to your question about the money, are you marrying a housewife? I mean,
No,
because if not, then the
not a,
money, again, going back to finances, all that money is in one pot. You can't say now I'm spending more money.
well, okay, let me explain, right? Because you've been out with me before. You know the type of man I am. Me and you are strictly friends. But when we've ever hung out with just us, did you have to pay for anything?
But that we were talking about in a marriage though. We're not talking about friendship.
No, I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. And I'm not
Okay.
trying to put you on Front Street. But what I'm saying is, you know, I'm the type of man that any woman that's around me, I'm not letting her pay for anything when I'm there, right? So if we're in a marriage or a relationship, yes, we may split the bills and stuff, but if we're going out, if we're doing stuff, I'm not letting my woman pay for anything. I'm paying for it.
But again, when you're married, the government doesn't see your money as split. Even if y'all have separate accounts, if y'all get divorced, the government is going to look at all of that as one. So again, even if you're married and you are physically using your money, it's still a combined pot. Even if it's coming out of your account, it's still technically a combined pot. Because okay, even in your situation, you said you and your ex-wife, y'all put all the money together and then split the rest. You don't know what part of that split came from her money and what part came from yours. You just using what was left over.
And you're not wrong. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I'm saying is when the extras come around, I'm taking care of that because I'm the man. That's what I mean by that. So yes, it all
I hear what you're saying, but that's not my point.
well where we not
Because even the extra came from that one pot. So it's all of that money together. It's still combined. It's still a combined fund. You took that money, put it in one pot, and split it. That's still that's still her money mixed in with that.
okay, so say we pay our bills and then afterwards we got $300 each. So unless we have said, hey, from that pot, we're gonna designate this for date night. When we go out to date night, that comes from my $300. You still got yours
Not,
$300 to play with. So that's where the sacrifice comes in. That's what I mean by that.
I get what you're saying. You're not getting what I'm saying, but it's okay. We can move on.
Now, you saying it all comes from the same pot. You don't know if it's hers or
Yeah,
yours, right? But
yeah.
once that money is divided, then it's mine.
Again, again, I'm gonna let you have that because you're not seeing my point. But again, I'm gonna let you have that.
I feel
I
like
said
I'm seeing
that.
your
I'm
point.
gonna let you have it. So let's move on.
I
We
feel like
don't agree. Let's move on.
I feel like I'm seeing your
Say
point.
that again.
I feel like I'm seeing your point. I feel like I'm seeing your point
Okay. And we don't agree. So what's the point in keeping the circle going around?
because I want you to finally say I'm right.
But you're not. I don't agree. So I'm not. This is one
And
of the reasons I
listen,
broke up with my
and
college
listen.
boyfriend. We do not have to agree on every single thing, especially if it's a matter of opinion and not fact. So no, I do not have to agree with you. And we're still cool. We can still be cool without having to agree.
And I'm joking because there's plenty of times where you have agreed with me, right? And I just think it's just a different in perspective. But I'm just saying for a lot of guys, that's how they look at it. And we're taking it all the way to marriage. But that step in between when you're in a relationship and you're dating, right? Then it's different because y'all haven't commingled your funds. You are courting that young woman, right? So it is an investment. Now, both people are, you invest in your feelings, your emotions, all of that, right? But the guys like me, how we get down, I'm not letting my woman dig into her pocket to pay for anything while we're dating.
I agree with you on that point, but the original
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. So what I'm saying is, we were talking about marriage benefit. You're right. But it's still to get there, it's an investment that a lot of guys say don't benefit them.